Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly Light, and today we are going to discuss the very relevant trend of technology as it pertains to education. Education professionals of the 21st century have access to radically different technology tools for teaching than those within the field only a decade earlier. We are going to analyze the perspectives of both traditional and digital age learners on technology. For those of us who are not familiar with what is meant by traditional and digital age learners, here is a brief overview. Traditional learning takes place in the classroom and is instructor-centered. Digital age learning is more flexible as it can occur anytime, anywhere. The instruction is student-centered with a focus on differentiation. This presentation will discuss the perspectives of traditional learners followed by the perspective of digital age learners. When referencing technology, we are referring to all things involving mobile learning, social networks, applications, and Web 2.0 tools. Technology is meant to clarify concepts, rapidly disseminate information, or simply speed up the process. But not all learners and educators view technology in the same way, so let's understand the different perspectives. Traditional learners prefer to keep the same approach to education as it has been in the past. Oftentimes, traditional learners are resistant to change in the classroom. They view mobile learning and social networking as solely for personal enjoyment and communication. Traditional learners reason that students have a heavy reliance on technology and therefore get distracted by it. They support teacher-centered instruction where students receive information from the teacher as the expert rather than online or from their peers. Traditional learners rely on textbooks, lectures, and paper and pencil assignments to present information and learn content. Personal learning networks are limited to personal interactions for traditional learners. There is a limited room for technology. They build communities with others through face-to-face interactions. These individuals motivate each other. Traditionalists generally view reaching out to others through technology as risky and unsafe. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and gamification are for the purpose of enjoyment and do not belong in the classroom, from the perspective of traditional learners. Education is not a game and should not be treated as one. Students should not need to be rewarded for all of their actions. For traditional learners, data is not the focus of instruction. In terms of instruction, delivery, and materials, traditional learners take a stance on one size fits all. There is a heavy focus and reliance on summative assessments, end of course evaluation, and standardized assessments. This group of learners stress mastery of basic skills. Traditional learners view technologies as a non-essential part of the classroom. They find them to be unreliable, cause discipline problems, and distract students. Technology takes away from mastery of core content and skills. The focus of traditional learning is for all students to reach the same level. They predict that students will become too reliant on technology and not be able to learn otherwise. Technology has impacted society by becoming a constant distraction. It has affected current and future generations of students by causing a lack of personal, face-to-face communication skills. Students are not present in the moment. These technologies do not fit into the lifestyle of a traditional learner in the classroom. They are used for personal enjoyment solely. Now that we have a good understanding of how traditional learners view technology, we are going to look at technology from the perspective of digital age learners. Digital age learners are in favor of all things technology. They realize technology expands opportunities for communication and collaboration, considering it can occur anywhere at any time. These learners support online, blended, and flipped learning environments with a student-centered approach. The educator should act solely as a guide for learning. Because of the abundance of resources, students are receiving updated content constantly. The connections personal learning networks encourage are valued by digital age learners. These networks empower students, expose them to more opportunities for learning, create and build authentic relationships, and foster communication and collaboration. These networks are personalized by the individual, holding them responsible. The learner is able to learn at their own pace in their own individualized way. These networks are essential to digital age learners. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and gamification are supported in education by digital age learners. They provide opportunities for continued practice while enhancing student engagement and motivation. They are able to view the world from different perspectives that may not have been possible otherwise. These simulations encourage teamwork and collaboration while improving critical thinking and problem-solving skills. The interactivity that is created in these environments increases students' retention and comprehension. Digital age learners drive instruction through the use of data. Data analytics assess efficiency and productivity of students and educators. There is a reliance on constant assessment in order to measure the effectiveness of instruction, content, and assessments. Through the use of data analytics, students' growth and progress is evaluated. Digital age learners are fans of technology. They see the constant change as a benefit considering improvements are being made. Technology further differentiates instruction for students and allows them to construct their own knowledge. They see the expansion of technology as a positive, as it is going to change the way teachers teach and students learn. Technology is impacting society by keeping everyone connected all the time. It is affecting current and future generations because they are preparing them to become lifelong learners who value exploration and constantly are able to construct new knowledge. Technology is the focus of digital age learners' personal and educational lives. They have constant access to information at all times, and they use it to their benefit. As students change, educators must change with them. Educators need new methods of instruction and testing to handle such vast numbers of students on time and students growing up in a digital era where are looking for new ways to communicate, study, and learn. As you can see from the different perspectives, not everyone is on the same page with technology. The generation gap has been caused by the fast-paced changes in technology. It is a struggle to stay current with the trends changing so often. Digital age learners grew up with technology, so implementing it is easier for them as they rely on technology. These digital natives are comfortable, while traditional learners are challenged to learn at a later stage in their life. The students they teach are often more experienced, which becomes overwhelming. The amount of pressure to keep up has caused this generation gap. Though I acknowledge there is a gap, I think there is hope in lessening and eventually eliminating this gap. In order to close the gap, educators and learners need to be on the same page. Working together to eliminate the gap is possible. We need to refocus learners and ensure they realize there is a time and place for technology in the classroom. Educators need to be trained on technology that they are expected to use. Using this technology should not be a struggle. It should help eliminate the learning gaps and accelerate progress by differentiation. Engaging the students during class time is the goal. 21st century learners learn different than in the past. Therefore, activities need to be designed and planned to meet the needs of the learners. Meeting the learners where they are comfortable will be beneficial. Because technology is changing so often, being flexible is essential. Instructors also need to be pioneers in terms of having the flexibility to make adjustments when the technology does not work as expected. Technology permeates all things educational: lesson plans, strategies, and activities. So we need to find a balance of both approaches to meet learners' needs. It is important to view technology from the traditional and digital age perspectives so that we are able to combine the approaches to be effective. By reinforcing the basics and providing feedback and support, we are preparing the students for the future. All students should be able to reach their maximum potential through the personalization of learning. We must inspire and encourage the students to become lifelong learners by setting high expectations for them. In traditional classrooms or in virtual classrooms, instructors generally have high expectations for students. We all have the same goal of student success. In order to reach that goal, all educators should participate in personal learning networks, professional development, and surround themselves with a solid team of teachers. Technology isn't going anywhere. Embracing the change will lessen the challenge. Thanks for watching.